Hello, hello, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today we're going to talk a little bit about dragon magic. It is not a topic that I think I've ever discussed here, but this is something that I wanted to explore. Funny story, and I'm just getting some of the paper stickers I'm going to use that I printed out. I just did a Google search on some imagery for dragon magic, and this is what I got. So that's what I'm cutting out on my label paper I have here. But I was talking with someone, and they asked me a question about dragon magic, right? And I thought they were just making, like, being funny. Not about the concept of dragon magic, but the way they asked me a question if I could if I could tap into dragon energy, or I think they said, what type of dragon energy would I want to display or want to have? And I didn't realize they were really asking me like it was a real question. So long story short, instead of me just, giving an intelligent answer, I kind of joked around and I said something to the effect of, I would, well, I've had the power to be a fire-breathing dragon. Like I went, with the cliche. And they called me out on it. And this person is not someone who I talk magic with. So it totally caught me off guard, guys. Because I don't just start spouting topics of magic and lore and mythology with just anyone, because if this is not your thing, I don't want to, quite frankly, I have the good sense to know my audience. And this person has never really tried to engage me on that level of discussion before. So I was thrown off. Needless to say, it exposed me in that moment that one, I was lacking in knowledge about dragon magic. And, I wanted to do something about that. So I made a point, and this is kind of how this is like really a look into who I am as a person, let alone just a witch. But when I want to learn, I don't want to just say, I don't know anything about that. And that's where it dies. Like, I don't think like that. No, I took the time and I researched, and I have been researching on the topic of dragon magic. It's tough for me to say that I almost never thought about this before. But here we are, I have a little bit more knowledge, so much that I wanted to actually, I was so inspired by what I learned that I wanted to make sure I put a page in my grimoire here about this, because that's how much, it kind of stuck out to me. So that's what you guys are going to watch me do right now. So I got a couple pages where I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just peel the stickers off and lay those down first. But yeah, this is, actually I'll go in this way first. But yeah, this is basically something I thought, hey, I'd share with you guys here and let you see. As I update my page, you'll see what I'm writing and kind of maybe get a little bit more information as well. And first of all, what I will say is this: dragons are typically taught, as we probably all know, as mythical creatures, right? That's how I've always understood them to be. And I think I just got some ink on a page or something, but that's okay. I'll cover that up. However, they're very much real. And however, they don't exist in the way where, you can walk outside and see a dragon. I'm not telling you that that's not what I'm positioning. What I am saying to you is, on another plane of existence, they do exist. They do exist. I think I'll put it here. Yeah. They do actually exist. So, once I sort of, again, this is what I talk about, being open, with your witchcraft, and just like being willing to learn different paths and different ideology. That's why I got that book on mythology. One of the reasons is because I knew it might be helpful. Let me pull this out so you guys can see what I'm doing. I knew it might be helpful to me, to broaden, my witchcraft a little bit more. And there's nothing wrong with broadening your magic, and your witchcraft, your path, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just gonna put here dragon magic. Now I could have easily printed out and just put the piece of paper, but I'm just gonna write a couple things in here that stood out to me, so I could always go back and reference this. So I'll never be in a position again when I'm talking and I not know. But basically, the best way to kind of look at dragon magic is how the dragons on this other plane of existence guide you. They're great, and this is what I'm going to start with. So dragon guides like to help with, and I'll go ahead and just get into this. So basically, they like helping you call on and harness your power as witches. Hello. So I'm going to write that here. Okay. They also help with situations where you feel lost or you feel out of control or otherwise not in your power. And that's telling, right? Okay. And they act as guardians of your space and your property, so your physical space, okay? And then the other thing I just wanted to note as well, they like helping you with accessing your spiritual gifts. And they like to connect with you energetically and, getting you connected with the spiritual realm. Okay? So that's my first page that I have here. And that's just kind of given me the initial information that I wanted to write down. So I'm going to just switch pens to a different color. Grab my other pen. Boop, there we go. All right, so now I'm just going to go a little bit more about dragon magic. And basically, one of the things that I learned is that it could be practiced on its own or along with other magical traditions, which is super helpful because, I'm not looking to change, my tradition, but it's good to know that, if I want to add, elements of, or, just practice this, I can. And I mean, clearly I was inspired enough. I actually wanted to add some pages in my grimoire about it so I could stay on it. That's how important it was to me, the information that I found out about. Okay. Dragon magic is not going to be for everybody. Everybody may not want to do this, which just everything is not for everybody. We all know that, right? However, the thing that stood out to me about this particular practice is that self-discipline, yes, they encourage being self-disciplined. It's really important, actually. And being willing to listen and, sort of govern yourself and let the dragon energy or guide you, totally guide you and help you out. And with your magic, so you're not it's not like a submitting thing. It's more like just being open and willing to let them guide you. And the way I understand dragon magic is that when you befriend or when you're befriended by the dragons, you can invite them in. They got to accept you, right? Then you're co-magicians. That's actually what I'm about to write right now. But yeah, that's actually really important because you're not commanding them. These are primordial beings. You don't command them. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of just note that. That this kind of really stood out to me because it's like, wow, I'm interested in learning more, but at the same time, to be perfectly honest, I'm not looking to change, my spiritual path, I'm pretty solid with that. My spiritual path, I don't want to change it. I'm trying to make this so you guys can see a little bit more. Sorry, I didn't fix that. But anyway, I'm not looking to do all of that. So, and then the other thing that I learned as well is about dragon archetypes. So, there are different types of dragon archetypes. It's really interesting. I mean, like, this is a whole new world for me of really kind of diving into that. I'm gonna actually switch gears and write with a different color pen, different pen again. I don't know, I like variety sometimes when I'm doing this. It draws my eye, so I can kind of focus on something else. So that's why I like to switch up. I was actually looking for my other pen, but I guess this is, yeah, I pulled my pens out. Oh, this is a crafter's problems, guys. You have a bunch of pens and stuff. But anyway, yeah, dragon archetype. So this is a whole other situation. This is actually black, but it's a different pen ink type of pen. So it's going to just show up a little bit different. But yeah, so I'm just going to note the ones that stood out to me. So there's like the ancestor or ancient mighty dragons. They're the oldest, the wisest of dragonkind. They're said to be co-creators of our world, and their energy penetrates into the earth. It runs through every river, ocean, and rides the wind of the vast sky. So there's the ancestor. I'm just going to note this here. I'm not going to write a full description because I have that elsewhere on my iPad. I've been keeping my notes there, doing that. That's been fun, but I will just write this little bit here. Ancient and mighty dragons. Okay, and then there's battle dragons. So when there's war in the world of humans, us, these dragons will manifest and carry the battle into the realms between our world and the world of the gods. The dragon battles of the other planes can influence and determine the outcome of conflicts here in our world. So I thought, whoa, that's pretty interesting. But this is the kind of stuff that makes you think, right? It makes you think a little bit more, because when I tell you that, you're like, oh, really? And then you expand on it. It's like, So if it's carried through, it has a ripple effect, basically. But anyway, and then there's, of course, elemental dragons, which I know a lot of people are probably more familiar with elemental dragons. Okay, and those are like an elemental dragon. They possess potent links to like a certain element, specific elements. The dragon's color and vibrations determine their elemental alignment. So earth dragons, fire dragons, water dragons, air dragons. So you probably are familiar, like I said, more familiar with those. And then there's guardian dragons. So guardian dragons is kind of what it sounds like, right? Sacred sites and gods. Put that in parentheses here. And these are from my notes. So yeah, these dragons are mighty sentinels for specific locations or objects or deities. They're loyal. Guardians for sites of like usually worship, thresholds between worlds, relics of power, or entrances to the world of the gods, and even for the actual gods themselves. So really powerful. And then you have primordial dragons. Okay, so this is representative of chaos and creation. Okay, so these dragons were created from or because of the continual cycle of chaos and creation. They actively participate in a cycle as either destroyer or challenger or creator or defender. That's interesting. And then I'm just going to write some more down here. And then there's world dragons. So let me write that here. World dragons. And I'm sure there's more. But these are the dragons who grasp and hold the tension between all worlds and all things. So we know this dragon kind as like as the Ouroboros or the world serpent. As long as this dragon remains whole, coiled protectively all around creation, around all of creation, its tail held within its mouth, then the world's in balance. So this, that's the dragon that symbolizes true wholeness and completeness. So you see my picture over here, right? And then there's Deity Dragons. Deity Dragons. Okay. So this is, some deities have the power to change their appearance into that of a dragon. These magical transformations, they allow a god or goddess to remain in dragon form for long periods of time. And perhaps, the dragon form is the true form of the gods. Some people argue that. And there was one more that I wanted to write, and that was the prime mover dragon. Okay, so prime mover dragons. These dragons have mastered like one or more of 5 sacred elements and are able to move between worlds with ease. So they're essentially essential to the movement of the cosmos. Their energy is used to maintain the balance of the universe. So that's how they basically operate. So that's sort of what this is the general information that I got. If you're interested, there are tons of books available to sort of talk about all of this sort of stuff, to get more into dragon magic. And I'm actually going to be ordering, reading some. I'm going to be ordering those. I have so many books to catch up on, but I love reading. I'm an avid reader, so it seems a lot to some, but to me, it's not that bad. Like, I'm okay with it. But yeah, let me just move this down so you could see. Yeah, so the only other piece that I sort of wanted to talk about, and I didn't have any imagery for this, or what, I didn't search a lot for it. That's probably the more accurate statement. And I may go back in and put something, but the goddess Tiamat, I think that's how I say her name, Tiamat. You'll see in a moment when I write it down. Goddess. And I'm just going to write a short little something because I'm not trying to, my grimoire is not a textbook, where I'm writing a bunch of information. So Goddess Tiamat. So in a region of ancient Mesopotamia, that's where she comes from, the goddess Tiamat. She's the dragon goddess. The dragon goddess. So I'm going to leave room in case I can find some imagery to represent her. But I love this imagery, so that's why I did that like that. But, and I could always come back and add more detail if I choose to. But basically, I wanted to write that. And she's considered the primordial mother. And I'm about to write about the story of Tiamat is told in the Enuma Elish, the creation of the world, written on the clay tablets found in Babylon, Sumer, and Assyria. And if I am butchering these words, forgive me. It's not, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. So I'm just going to write that out. All right, so I have my details that I wanted to write and include about her because that's also a part of, understanding dragon magic. And I have this blank space here, and maybe I'll come back and fill this up at a later time when I just, have even more information. I like being able to do that, but I kind of wanted to bring you guys in a little bit on, my journey as I, kind of include these notes. Like, this is enough information where you can, not you, well, maybe you, but, for me, I can learn to speak to this sort of stuff. So the next part is me just adding a couple different embellishments, because that's what I do. Okay, so I'm done. So just added some things like stickers that I had that to me kind of, you know, imagery and things like when I think of primordial, I think of like, outer space. I think of the galaxy. I think of the universe. I think of something that's much bigger than myself and, just elemental magic and, the snake and salamanders are elemental creatures as well to do with fire and all that sort of stuff and all the imagery. The sun, which is, a big ball of fire and I don't know. I just put all this together and it kind of made sense in my head. So that's why I did it in these little, they look like mushrooms, which is, mushrooms are very old and ancient type things. So I have that here. But yeah, this is it. So this is basically, my contribution to my grimoire, giving me the, me writing down that knowledge. I like to, it's okay to have it in my head, but I like to sometimes write this stuff down so I can always come back and look at it. And I actually have more space because I was studying dragon magic, not so much the specific goddess. So I gave myself room to get, to get more involved and to learn a little bit more. And I can write what I want to here as well. But yeah, this is it. Hopefully this encourages you to maybe step out of your comfort zone and write, something new into your grimoire. This is a time, there's always a good time to learn something new and to study and, kind of immerse yourself in something different. And I would not have known from that conversation and that person, by the way, I was talking to was someone I know and care about. And, they really had me going because there was like, why would you immediately go into a stereotypical description of a dragon? And I was like, oh, right. Yeah, I forgot. So this is the general information with the imagery that I want to hear in my grimoire. I actually am starting to do some I started taking notes for like a lot of the videos and things that I study or, want to get more information on. I've been using my iPad for that. And I absolutely love using good notes and creating notes and yeah, that's been fun. I got the Apple Pencil and everything. So I've been really having a good time just preparing all the information I was learning so I could put it here. So yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching. Again, I am Mika. This is Leap Taken. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, share. I love this imagery, by the way. I got all of this. I just did a Google search and I printed them out. So this has been super helpful to me, just seeing this. Like, I like the energy it invokes with me. This kind of like a dragon looking over his shoulder and he's reading, like it feels like guided. I love that. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.